I'm still processing the movie. I'm still processing what I watched, and I am seeing it again. God willing, I am seeing it again. Yo, welcome back to the channel. This is Aaron Jones, Christ Addict AJ as always, and the rumors are true. The rumors are very true. This movie is excellent. I'm going to go into why a little bit, but just know it's excellent, okay? Shipwrecked on a deserted island, a robot named Roz must learn to adapt to its new surroundings, building relationships with the native animals, and Roz soon develops a parental bond with an orphaned Gosling. So, the premise of this movie is so simple, and yet the actual film and how things play out is so much more than that. This thing takes you on a journey. It's an ebb and flow of emotions from top to bottom. You will cry, you will laugh, you will... all of it, the full gamut is reached in this film. And I'm just so impressed with like how well executed this thing was. I mean, there are things about this movie that I learned in some research that is wild to think about. I mean, for one, the animation is pushing boundaries. It's giving Spider-Verse in that it is not typical 2D animation or 3D photorealistic animation. It's definitely trying to be stylistic, and the style that it goes with is that they have 2D drawings that they watercolored. So most of what you're seeing in terms of the landscapes, the animals, all of it is hand-drawn 2D animation, but then it's colored with watercolors in the computer. And Roz herself, the robot, is a fully CG image until she ends up changing to look more like the landscape she's in. It's incredible when you know that going in to watch the change. From the voice acting side, Lupita Nyong'o, who plays Roz, there is a story about her losing her voice mid process because she has to, strain it to sound real chipper and optimistic, kind of like a Alexa or Siri in the beginning, but her voice gradually, as the film goes, changes to match more of Lupita's natural voice. So it goes from more robotic-like and optimistic to more natural. And again, you can just see like they were thinking about this thing, thinking about the process, how the story is going to play out in many aspects. I'm not going to go into everything because I want you to watch the movie, but it is actually insane how intentional they were with this thing. I mean, I went into it knowing it was going to be good because I watched reviews and stuff, and I'm still processing the movie. I'm still processing what I watched, and I am seeing it again. God willing, I am seeing it again. But this is one that I could watch over and over again. Not just because from a technical standpoint it's a marvel, but because the story itself is so endearing and so unique. The way it's told, like you don't get a lot of stories that are this mature, but in a kid's film. Like this film was, targeted to children, but it's one of those family movies. So it's like it's not just a kid's movie, but it's a family movie because there are jokes kids are gonna get, there's visuals kids are gonna like to see on screen, but there are some subject matter that adults are going to completely understand, especially if you're a parent. If you are a parent, specifically a mom, you're going to love the commentary this film makes about motherhood, and I think you're going to feel a bit validated in some of the things that are said. I was watching it like, that wasn't for the children. That wasn't for the kids. And I mean, there are scenes in this movie that had me as a Christian just thinking back to some biblical texts in ways that I think are so powerful. There's a scene in the movie where, I don't want to give too much away, but where some characters come together and kind of help each other in spite of very dire odds. And when I watched it, I was like, I mean, my bro was talking about it too. He mentioned like, this is what the world needs right now, to watch kind of this type of kindness play out because of, obviously, at this point, political tensions are high and everything, and just the nation in general is on this, divisive wave. But there's a quote in the movie where they mention something like kindness being a survival tactic, and I'm like, who wrote that? That's crazy. Like kindness as a survival skill. It was something crazy like that. And I'm like, dude, like if we could use, because the Bible even talks about killing people with kindness, killing our enemies with kindness, and just, not fighting fire with fire, but fighting fire with love and kindness. And so, as we talk to our enemies and as we, help our enemies and show them kindness, it's almost like burning coals on their head, because they're like, I can't be angry with you. I can't hate you because you're being so good to me. How do I hate someone who's being so nice to me and so kind? And so when I saw that, I'm like, that's a great lesson. Teach the kids to be kind in the face of, opposition, because it makes, them better people for being kind. Love that. The whole motherhood, parenthood aspect of it, I thought they had some good commentary on that. While it was a little bit more honest than I thought they were going to go, I think it's necessary. This film not only has a story and a look that will entertain kids, but will teach them as well. And it's the same thing for adults in the room. It's going to entertain, it's going to pacify for a moment, but it's also going to teach. It's going to remind, it's going to bring about things that they had forgotten about. Animation has a unique way of capturing people's attention. And I think because it's not live action or real, it's a little easier for us to project ourselves onto that image. Where in live action, we can see ourselves on screen. With animation, we can see others on screen, something that's other, and kind of go into this different place. And it's more of an escapist projection than with live action. And so I love animation. I think it, when done right and not done as just a kid's film to kind of pacify children, it's powerful. Animation is so powerful. It's not just for kids, Can we talk about the director of this film, Chris Sanders? Not only has this man been involved in projects like Beauty and the Beast, Mulan, and Lilo and Stitch, famously being the voice of Stitch. Not only did he do all that, but this man also co-directed one of the most fantastic, goated films in the history of film. I personally love the mess out of this movie, and so when I found out that he was one of the co-directors, I said, oh, I'm going to love The Wild Robot. This man has a goated resume, and so I knew I was going to love it. And he does so well with taking fantastical, creatures, objects, images, and making them alive, making them feel human. And he does that with this robot and with these animals in a way that I'm like, dude did it again. Oh my gosh, he did it again. I would say this film is as perfect as an animated film can get. I wouldn't say it's a perfect film in terms of like everyone's gonna love it, but I will say that everyone, if they watch, is gonna respect this film for what it is. The craft on display is too good for it to not get respected out here in these streets, and I think it's an instant classic. I will say this thing is going to be in the upper echelon of classic films like The Iron Giant. Yeah, I loved it. I highly recommend it. AJ approved. 9.5 out of 10 if I was to rate this thing. And yeah, I recommend everyone support it in theaters. Go see it. It's probably best in theaters anyway. The visuals will be like on full display in their full glory. I would say go see it. If you watched The Wild Robot, what you think about it? Do you have any comments below to let me know about how you thought about it? Till next time, may the Lord bless and keep y'all. Jesus loves you. Peace and deuces.